Hello and welcome to Chef Carter's Cooking Corner. So today on Chef Carter's Cooking Corner, we are going to talk about how to plan and prepare a Thanksgiving meal. So the first thing you need to think about when you plan a Thanksgiving meal, or any meal for that matter, is your resources. So resources include time, budget, space, manpower, and skills. So for example, with time, most of us are pressed with time, but with good planning, you can still create a great meal, no matter how busy you are. Some things, if you are short on time, you may want to consider getting more pre-made items or even ordering groceries ahead of time and delivering them to the door. So I have done that before, and it does save you quite a bit of time, and it's so much less stress. All right, you also want to consider your manpower or woman power. Who can help you cook? Maybe you'll do the sides at home and other family members will bring the meats, or vice versa. And that has been our family plan for years. Since I'm a pretty good cook, I will do a ton of sides, and then my family will bring different types of meat. But even if it is just you cooking, you can still have a meal without wearing yourself out. It just takes a little pre-planning, and if you cook in the days ahead, it'll make Thanksgiving a lot easier for you. All right, so also your money and your budget is a consideration, but no matter how small of a budget you may have, you can still have a great meal. Maybe it just means you have a little bit of turkey and a couple sides and a nice crusty bread. But the main part of the Thanksgiving meal is spending time with family. With Thanksgiving though, especially in the United States, there are many places who give out free turkeys. Many workplaces will, churches and other organizations, they just give turkeys. And with a little research, you can find these resources. All right, you also want to consider your space. You never want to get more food than you can cook or store. For example, a 50-pound bird may seem nice, but if it cannot fit in your oven or refrigerator once you get home, it's going to be an issue. So you do want to consider your space and also your skills. So even though you may be new at cooking, it doesn't mean that you can't have a nice Thanksgiving meal. It just means you may have to keep it simple. And so, you want to consider it, and don't try anything new on Thanksgiving, especially if you're a novice. All right. So, we already talked about space. So, number 2 is make list. So about a month before Thanksgiving, I like to make a list, and I consider what food will I prepare and how many people are coming. Do my guests have any special needs? Diabetes, allergy, are they gluten-free? You may want to consider the elderly and children, as they may have issues chewing certain foods. And often I will ask guests what sides they would consider having. What sides do you want? What's your favorite thing? And then I'll try to accommodate as many people as possible. So here is an example of my Thanksgiving menu from 2017. Yes, I put it here. And it was actually a little longer, but I had to adjust. And so you can see that I have quite a few things: a turducken, ham, turkey, cranberry sauce, roasted asparagus, and tomatoes with pesto sauce. It's quite a few things on here. All right, but I had quite a few people over as well. So with that, you want to create a plan of attack or schedule. So when will you shop? Can you order your groceries? Now, with ordering groceries, you want to do that well in advance. For example, when I was ordering my groceries with Peapod, if you didn't order your groceries at least 2 weeks in advance, you may not be able to get them at a time that's convenient for you. Okay, but you can do Instacart or even Amazon Fresh. I haven't used those last two, but it seems like a good thing if it's in your area. And then you want to consider which items you will prepare yourself and which will be pre-made, because there ain't no shame in pre-made. So here is what I did. I don't know if you can see it too well, but I arranged it in what was going to already be cooked, and we usually get most of the desserts and the meats have already been cooked. And then I do a few canned items. I love glory greens. I don't know about you, but glory greens are great. Cranberry sauce, sometimes I'll make that from scratch, but for some reason my family prefers the cranberry sauce in a can. So also, as you can see on the right of the screen, those are the sides that I actually made. And I always do the homemade rolls because everybody's got to have grandma's homemade rolls. And I was one of the few grandchildren she taught how to do that. But also, if you look closely, and I'm going to zoom in, I may have to zoom in and then, there we go. So you can see here that I have when I'm going to prepare what. So like my sweet potato casserole, that was prepared day before. So that would have been Wednesday, and then I was going to cook it on Thursday, so I put it in the oven. And then some things I prepared on Monday, like I cut my vegetables up on Monday, except for potatoes, because you don't want potatoes to sit too long in the refrigerator. So I usually prepare my potato items the day of. Dressing can be prepared a couple days ahead. The rolls can be prepared a few days ahead, and so on and so forth. So you want to just think about what I can do. Most desserts can be prepared ahead of time. All right, let me scroll out. Ooh. So step 3 is your plan of attack. And that's what I was talking about earlier, is when will you prep and when will you cook? So here's a quick example. So Monday you want to wash and cut your vegetables, and you also want to take your turkey out at this time. Your turkey should be no later than Tuesday, and Tuesday may be too late if it's not early on Tuesday. So when will you prepare your pies, dressing, vegetables? And then if you do have a raw turkey, you may want to start that like early Thursday morning. And I know back in the day we would put the turkey in at 2 a.m. on Thursday morning. And so it just depends on your resources. I always like to get the pre-cooked meats, so it only takes like maybe 30 minutes to heat those in the oven. So it's up to you, and it depends on your resources. So here I go again, with my menu. Alright, and I just wanted to show you, I love King's Hawaiian Rolls. I actually met one of their representatives before. It was so cool. He's so sweet. So step 4 is follow your plan, and you may have to make adjustments. Sometimes you won't be able to do all your plans. Sometimes you'll have more than enough time. Just depends. So some tips and tricks. Always keep food safety your #1 priority. One of my resources I love is foodsafety.gov, and I will have the link in the description box. Alright, and then again, as I touched on before, stick to recipes you've made before. This is especially true if you are not an experienced cook. Alright, and you may want to consider using disposable pans and write the contents and directions on the lid. So you see here, there's some writing on the lid here. And basically, like I had mac and cheese bake at I think that was $3.75 for 25 minutes. All right, and this was the sweet potato casserole. So it kind of helped me keep things organized. And then if someone wanted to help me in the kitchen, it was one thing they could do too. They could easily see what needed to be put in the oven at what time, and so on and so forth. All right, moving along. So another thing I've learned over the years to do is to get to-go containers. And so I usually get this type right here, And you can get those at the dollar store, and you get like several of them. I think it's like 5 of them per package at the dollar store. And it depends on your dollar store. Maybe they don't have them this year, maybe they will. But to-go containers are a great idea. So that way your guests aren't having paper plates that are leaking, and you know how it goes. But when you have a nice to-go container, they can take that without the fear of things dripping in the car as they on their way home. All right, and so be creative with your leftovers. So I have a few ideas for leftovers, so I'll have the links below. And then the final note when planning, remember, it's not so much the food, but the family that counts. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I hope you have a great one, and thank you for stopping by. If you have any questions, put them in the comments and I will answer them as soon as I can. So thank you for stopping by Chef Carter's Cooking Corner. I'll see you next time.